You know, we bought a lot of cars and trucks this year for the various YouTube channels that we manage. But by far, this 1979 Fiat 124 Spider 2000 is my favorite of all the cars that we bought. And in this video, I will tell you why. But first, let's show you how Tommy and Case picked it up at the donated car auction.
It happened again. My dad will not stop buying cars sight unseen.
It's pretty much every week.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And this time I think he's fully lost it because it's not like he's buying these reliable Toyota or Nissan sight unseen. He's bought something, well, it's something.
It is something. It's a 1979 Fiat Spider, a 124, 2000. It's a 2-liter.
So all of those things you said, don't fill me with confidence. 70s Fiat, sight unseen, at an auction.
But it's puke green.
But it's puke green, that's great. No, genuinely, I do actually think these older Fiat convertibles are pretty neat. They've got some really cool design when you get rid of the absolutely ruinous bumpers on them. And this was kind of a fun color of this weird lightish green thing. Now, Case, are we experts in Fiats?
Oh, sure, we can be.
We sure can be. But in this video, we're gonna kind of get our bearings with this car. We're gonna learn a little bit about it, and then we're gonna see if it runs and drives, because I'm not convinced it will. But Case, first impressions, give them to me.
It actually doesn't look that bad. There is a decent sized dent in the rear quarter there, but it's got a lot of paint on it.
Yeah, more than I was expecting, and this is a cool little feature. I really like how they incorporated the fuel cap here. Look at that.
Yeah, and it doesn't smell too bad in there.
It doesn't.
I think
Wow.
the fuel is reasonably fresh.
Dang, it's got upholstery in it.
I think your dad has something for these badges.
So my dad is really into Pininfarina, but he's not actually buying anything good from Pininfarina, except for Allantes and 70 Fiats.
Yeah.
But actually, this thing doesn't look half bad. Now, this is the Peak Auto Auction. This is a donated car auction. So it's always a little bit of a gamble of what you're looking at. But I'm seeing 93,000 miles here, a 5-speed manual, Case.
Nice.
The finest fake wood.
Well,
Actually,
real
wood, I think. That's
Could
not
be.
bad. And look, it even has some documentation. Look at this, 1979 Fiat Spider 2000. Oh man, look at this.
And these had 80 some horsepower.
86. This is the real deal, Case. So, wow, actually, dang, I hate giving my dad so much credit, but this doesn't seem like a bad car, and we'll tell you near the end how much we paid for this thing. Should we pop the hood, Case?
Tommy's got our favorite windows. Horn works.
It's got a horn. It's got smoker windows.
It's got some battery. Oh, well, that makes sense.
Let's see. Oh, it's got an engine.
Not much of one.
So if I remember correctly, little 2-liter, 4-cylinder inline 4. I think these are dual overhead cam.
Yeah, pretty sure.
Pretty cool. You got a little distributor there. I'm pretty sure even in 79 these were carbureted though.
Yeah.
But
I think later on they did some Bosch fuel injection, but carburetor's probably going to be to its credit. It's going to help us out.
this is going to help us out.
Yeah.
The one thing I am concerned about, and the reason I think that this car, especially where we live in Denver area, is cheap, it's a 1979, which means
Emissions.
So we follow the Cafe California rules. Anything pre-76, you're smog free. 76 to 81, you have to go through a 2-speed idle test. Not that that's impossible, but it's just tough with this era of car.
So we'll see.
So here's what I say we do, Case. Let's pay the man and then see if this thing will start. We got keys, so we just paid the man here at Peak Auto Auction. It was $38.71, $3,800 after taxes and everything. So let's see if...
What are the chances?
I'm feeling good. I'm thinking 30%.
Wow.
What are you going with?
High odds. I'll shoot just under, say 25.
It's got lights.
It's a good start. Oh. Not bad.
Wow.
Give it a rev.
Oh, runs good.
Well, it idles.
Maybe we'll let it build some temperature. But look, I mean, from what I'm seeing here, pack works. That's good news. Fuel gauge seems to work. Also good news. You got the brake warning. That's probably for parking brake, right? Yeah.
Oh, wow.
So from the very little research I've done before we came here, I learned, Case, that these Fiat 2000s were built from they were sold, I should say, under the 2000 name from 79 through 85. And the American ones were a little, by a little I mean seriously choked by emissions. But it doesn't seem to knock, actually.
I wonder if the idle jet is the only jet we got right now. Wonder if everything else is clogged. Maybe not. Do I hear an exhaust leak?
I think you hear an exhaust leak, yeah, but
no, it seems to...
actually runs pretty well.
Doesn't seem like the carb is clogged, so...
You want to hop in? Should we see if we have a shifter and a clutch?
I suppose. What do you think this liquid?
Oh, we got even have a heater fan.
Your dad's not gonna fit in this car.
He's not going to fit in this car. It's kind of cool though, actually. I really like this dash layout with the gauges feel very Italian. The wood shifter, right? All this feels very, very Italian. But
which is to say, it feels of quality.
Of course. What else would I say, Case?
What's happening to your seatbelt over there?
Well, see how it attaches into the rear parcel shelf?
Oh. It's not too happy, huh?
Okay, well, that doesn't work. All right, let's see if we've got reverse. Where do we think reverse is on a 79 Fiat? Oh, there we go.
Oh, you're about to find out.
Nope. For fuck's sake. Oh my God. We're gonna clear that?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, it's got first.
Yeah, we'll have to look up the shift pattern. We've never driven one of these.
I know almost nothing about these. My dad just said, we bought a car, go check it out.
Our center console is a little
non-existent.
not that good, huh? But it does move.
It runs okay, howdy. All right, it's got a clutch in it. Oh boy. Do not want to get sideswiped by an F-150.
No. That would be not a good car to get sideswiped in.
Okay. Well,
It's got 2 gears.
it's got 2. That's not bad. Actually, the transmission feels really good. It's got all 5. And there's a reverse somewhere. It's got a cracked windshield case.
Uh-oh.
Uh-oh. This thing is totaled.
Pretty much.
We're starting to get some temp in the engine, so it's starting to run a little better. Listen, it's not a great car. Like, if you look underneath, it's a little crusty.
Yeah.
But for $3,800, if you just wanted a fun little classic, this could be kind of cool.
Yeah, and I think we might be able to make it a little more interesting if we lower it down to the European ride height, get rid of the bumpers, because they're big diving board bumpers. That would make a difference.
Oh, for sure.
We decided to pull out onto the road when all the traffic...
And then every traffic that's ever existed in this area here.
Will it do a big smoky burnout, Tommy?
That's full throttle.
So that's a no. Sounds kind of cool, though.
It does sound kind of cool. Yeah, I mean, if this were my car, what I say we do is we chop the exhaust off.
For emissions.
We lower it to the ground.
For comfort.
And then you pull the bumpers off for safety.
Yes.
But yeah, this is actually okay. You know, it's fine.
Yeah, honestly,
it's fine.
it could have gone much worse.
It could have been much worse.
Sight unseen buying a Fiat.
45-year-old Fiat, that could have been a real problem. But
So what, $3,800?
$3,800?
So why do I love this little Fiat so much? Well, first and foremost, it's as close to a classic Ferrari as I'm ever going to get. Now, it was designed by Pininfarina, the same people who did the California 365 and, of course, the Ferrari 265 GTS. And you can see the same lines in this car for a boat ton less money. In fact, we bought this, like I said, at the donated car auction, and we paid just under $4,000. Now, that is not a lot of money for a lot of classic Italian styling. Now, there are some rather ugly bits on the car that are easily modified. So first and foremost, it's got these US hideous bumpers. Now, can you imagine what this car would look like without this giant, is it underbite or overbite? You know what? Through the magic of editing, we can actually show you, and you'll start to see the connection between the classic Ferraris. So what people do, of course, is they remove this front bumper and they remove the rear bumper, and take a look at this, and now you'll see just why this is, at least from a style perspective, a bargain classic Ferrari. Fiat built this 124 Spider for a long time. In fact, it came out in 1966, and you could buy it pretty much unchanged until 1983. Now in 79, they did improve the engine, and that's why this is the 2000 Spider, in other words, a 2-liter, and it produces, don't be shocked, a total of 86 horsepower, or at least it did when it was new, and that's because it's a dual carbureted setup. Now what that means, of course, is when you pair it to a 5-speed manual transmission, you don't have Ferrari-like acceleration, but you do have the magic of a manual with one of the silkiest and smoothest 4-cylinders you could ever buy, even though it's not that powerful. But you know, sometimes it's all about engaging with the car, not having the car overpower you. And this car certainly doesn't come close to overpowering me. The best part about this car, of course, is that it's a Spider, and you know what that means? It means it's a convertible. But better than that, I also fit. Unlike a Miata, which in a lot of ways took cues from this car and, of course, the British convertibles, this car actually fits. I mean, I'm not looking into the top of the A-pillar. When I put the top up, it's manual, so it's not going to bust. I have plenty of shoulder room. I have plenty of leg room. In fact, I have plenty of room for somebody who is 6'2", and the seat, unlike most new sports cars, at least cars that have race car aspirations, are extremely comfortable and extremely easy to spend a lot of time in. So let's talk about the dashboard next. You'll notice that the only screen in here is this horrible Pioneer aftermarket radio, but everything else is analog. What a refreshing sight to look down and see a speedometer and a tachometer. I especially love these half-moon gauges. And then, of course, real wood, real rubber, and yeah, real plastic that has, of course, come off over time. But the controls are basic and straightforward, so there's everything you need and nothing you don't. And that's what makes this car such a refreshing breath of fresh air in a world of too many screens, too much driver ADAS, in other words, too many driver aids that take away from the driving experience. Here, really the only thing that's keeping you on the road is the steering wheel, the brakes, and the transmission, the way God intended, of course. And the Italians have this great sense of style. Even little things like this ashtray that, look at that, it kind of gently opens, are so interesting and so well designed. Today, that wouldn't be there, of course, because nobody smokes in cars, but you know, go back 10 years and this would be a little plastic cover that would slide out of the way. This thing just clicks in such a satisfying way, giving you these 3 little slots to have your cigarettes. The other thing I love is over here, these little side windows, the smoker windows. It's this little doodad that lets you open them and close them. It's pleasing to the eye and pleasing to operate. It's not just functional, it's beautiful. The other thing I love about this car is that it has a lot of cosmetic issues. Obviously, the paint here is really bad. Something or somebody dented the side of the car, and this sort of kind of works. We've got, you know, wheels that have probably seen their best days maybe 20, 25, 30 years ago. You've got trim that's starting to fall off. And all that really means, to me at least, is that it's not precious. And sometimes when you buy a new car, you get really worried about where you park it. Do you drive it in the rain? In Colorado, do we drive it in the snow? With this car, I don't care. If you want to come and park next to it and bash your door into it, feel free. And the best part of all of that is that it frees you up from having to have all this stress and angst over a car that is new and precious and beautiful and perfect with ceramic paint coating and film on the front so that bugs and rocks don't chip it. With this, I just don't care. I just don't care. I just drive it and use it, and if somebody bashes into it with their door or if a rock comes and hits it, it doesn't really matter because it's just a fun car that's meant to be enjoyed and not meant to be worried about. All right, let's talk about why this car is so much fun to drive. First and foremost, it has a manual, and what a manual it is. Short gearing, easy to shift. I could shift it with 2 fingers, and best of all, the take-up is almost immediate. It's not heavy like our Viper where you need a leg workout to just be able to drive the car. Manual steering with non-power assist. Not great when you're parking it, but man, once you get going, it's wonderful. It just tells you everything about the road. In fact, when I first started driving this car, I felt like there was something off with the steering because it was kind of pulling to one side. It turned out that's just a natural camber of the road. You can actually feel it through the steering wheel. We have lost all of that. Now, the brakes aren't the best in the world, but they sure do inspire confidence for a car with 86 horsepower. So, they're not going to be probably worthy of track time, but for being out on the road, they do a great job. Now, I'm on the dirt road here, so it's a little loosey-goosey, but the second we get on the paved part, you'll see just how smoothly this car drives. Now, one of the things that seems odd about it when you look at the car from the side, it seems like it's too high. And I think for America, they maybe give it a little bit more suspension travel than in Europe, so it looks a little awkward. But the upside of that is this, just an incredibly, perfectly smooth ride. And perhaps the piece de resistance in this vehicle is not the power, which there is not much. It's not maybe even the handling, which is confidence inspiring, but fine for canyons and daily drives. But perhaps the best thing about it is the smoothness of this engine. This 4-cylinder was known for just being incredibly smooth and incredibly connected to the car. In other words, it's the right engine for the right car. There's nothing worse than having an engine that is either underpowered or overpowered for the chassis. And I'm sure back in the day when the next turbocharged version of this car came out in America, people were complaining about just how underpowered it is. But for me, this is the exact amount of power you want for a car like this. Somehow we've forgotten or lost the magic of tuning a car so that the engine note fits the character of the car. This is not a sports car, well, in the traditional sense, not a race car. It is a sporty car, and it's a car that people would have taken on weekend picnics or maybe taken on weekend drives. And do you really want something that, is blatantly screaming out, I want to be a race car out the back? No, you don't want that. And finally, the best thing about this car, and the reason that I've fallen in love with it, besides, the Italian zest for life, I'm opening it up a little bit. There we go. It gets a little bit more power once you get into the higher power bands. But the thing that I really love about this car, and that just makes me want to drive it all the time, is it's super engaging to drive. I don't need a radio, I don't need Apple CarPlay, I don't need heated seats. All I need is the open air, a zesty 86 horsepower 4-cylinder, a manual transmission, and a steering wheel that doesn't shake like a scared poodle. Really, that's all I need. And that's all you get. Plus, of course, this beautiful basic layout that gives you, an ideal sense of what a sporty car should be. There we go. Now we're in red line. Yeah! So much fun. There is so much truth to, you know, it's more fun to drive a slow car fast than a fast car slow. And for all of you Miata fans out there, the one thing that the Miata is missing is Fix It Again Tony, because there is a little bit of fun in having a car that's a little bit dangerous when it comes to reliability. And the one thing, we've owned a Mazda, by the way, Miata MX-5 for all Europeans. The one thing I would say about it, we owned an NC, is that it was just a little too perfect. And when you make it too perfect, you make it less fun. And this car is not perfect, which means it's just a lot of fun. Earlier in this video, I told you a lie. I said, I don't really care if this car breaks because, well, it's a cheap car and it's almost throwaway. Now that's actually not true. I think I was being a little too cavalier. That would be a good word. I really do care about this car. Of course, not enough to not sit on it, but I do care about it. And the great thing is, even though Fix It Again Tony, Fiat, does have a reputation for not being the most reliable of brands, the fact is, this is not a Ferrari, this is not a Porsche, this is a Fiat, and so parts are readily available and cheap to buy. I mean, they built this car, like I said, from 1966 to 1983, so there's a lot of them out there. There is a lively forum of people who can tell you how to fix things when things go wrong, and in fact, it's relatively easy to work on this car. So I'm thinking, if things break, yes, I will fix them. And now that I'm starting to really fall in love with this car, I think the first thing I'm gonna do is pull these bumpers off, front and back, and maybe find a set of better wheels and bring a little bit of sparkle, a little bit of jewelry back to a car with just under 100,000 miles. And as a Fiat, that's probably grandfather age. But anyway, as a Fiat, it's still a lot of fun. And I don't want to make it too precious, but at the same time, I am falling in love with it. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time. Ciao.